For the first time in a really, really long time, I like the Eagles wide receivers.
Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes.
I'm a grown-ass man. See, I'm a grown-ass man. Grown-ass man.
Hey everybody, King Dingbat here. I'm in my garage with a cigar. It's only a candy cigar because my wife won't let me smoke one after I put that big fat head up in our bedroom.
Let's get rid of Dak. At this point, I'd be happy for Dak to be playing for somebody else. And my team stinks. I agree. Stinks.
They laugh about us. We're a disgrace. We suck.
I am now Philly 500's bitch.
Dallas still stinks. Goodbye, do it. King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're enjoying your bye week, and I hope the Eagles, Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz, I hope they're actually trying to figure things out during this bye week, because we know they need to, especially after that performance with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, you know, we talked a lot about in my last video, things I think the Eagles should possibly do, like get rid of Howie, get rid of Jim Schwartz at the end of the year, give Doug Peterson an offensive coordinator. And I think there's some confusion with some people who think that I might be bailing on the North Dakota Assassin. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not bailing out on the North Dakota Assassin. I am not giving up on the North Dakota Assassin. I think he has to get in there and he has to work through his struggles. What I'm just acknowledging is that he's been having problems, no question about it. And it's not all him. A lot of it, in my opinion, is the Doug Peterson playbook. It is his offense and the need for an offensive coordinator. Now, before I get started on this, I just wanted to tell you guys, if you haven't already, definitely join my Flick chat. I'm going to put the link in the description. It's been growing pretty quick. I'm having a lot of fun on it, posting things, talking to people, getting people's insights on things. And I think I want to try to do maybe like a contest, maybe next week or something like that, on Flick Chat. So if you haven't, make sure you sign up, join me there. You can always catch me between videos over there. I try to get on there as much as possible, and I'm actually starting to like it more than I like going on Twitter, because I can go on there and just talk about sports. So it's a lot of fun. Definitely join if you haven't. Now, like I said, we talked about the things the Eagles need to do differently, maybe going forward, and some of the things like that. But I want to talk about a bright spot today. I want to talk about somebody who, when I look at, I just start smiling, man. I just start smiling, and I look at him and I go, that number 13. That number 13 was something that when I saw last year made me sick, made me want to throw up. Okay, all I would have is flashbacks of the Atlanta game, running down the sideline, right through his hands. Nelson Stinkelar. Nelson, 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 he stinks. Gonna make Raider fans drink. Thank you. Coming to iTunes very soon. But in all seriousness, I wasn't the biggest Nelson Aguilar guy. Everybody knows it. And to get a guy to put on that 13 and play so well, and to me, the complete opposite of what we got out of Nelson Aguilar, except for 1 year. 1 year he was really good, but other than that, he was disappointing. And obviously, I'm talking about Travis Fulgham, otherwise known as the TF13. And we call him that because he's a Terminator. The guy's a Terminator, taking down the Cowboys, double moonwalking the Giants, the Niners. Every game he's in, he is productive. He's on pace, actually, I think they said for like 75 catches, over 1,000 yards, like I want to say like over 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, averaging like over 80 yards a game. The kid has been fantastic, and since he's been playing week 4, I think he leads the league in receiving yards. This kid is the real deal, okay? He's the real deal in my opinion. Now, he's going to have to prove himself over the course of a year and even next year. But I've not been this excited about a wide receiver since Terrell Owens came to the Eagles, and I'm just being honest. He reminds me a lot of Michael Thomas of the Saints. That's who he reminds me of, just the way he plays, his speed, the way he runs around. He just reminds me of him, and I think this kid is a steal, is a gem, and it's been such a long time since we had a guy like that. I think he's a true number one wide receiver, and I think he's going to be with the Eagles a long, long time. And there are people who question or have been asking me, what's the deal with his contract? He is technically an exclusive right free agent at the end of the year, meaning the Eagles have a right to basically match any contract. They can tender, I guess a value to what they think. So they can say, we think he's worth a first round pick. We think he's worth a second round pick. And a team would have to give that up in compensation, if I remember how the exclusive rights free agent works. But essentially, he ain't going anywhere next year. May he get a huge contract at the end of this year? Probably not. I would expect the Eagles to tender him, to sign him one more year, see how he does during the year, and then give him a big contract. But you can't let this kid get away. This kid is the real deal, in my opinion. And because you have him, and then you have a guy like Reagor. See, I think Reagor is going to be good. A lot of people have soured on Jalen Reagor because people... Sorry. I'm a bit under the weather. I don't know if you can tell by my voice. And it's not COVID-19 because as soon as I say I'm under the weather, people always say that. No, it's just really allergies. I got a lot of allergies right now. But what the hell was I saying again? Oh yeah. Jalen Reagor. A lot of people have soured on him. They look at what these other rookie wide receivers around the league, and rightfully so, what they're doing, and they say, well, Jalen Reagor ain't giving us that production. Maybe we missed on Justin Jefferson. Maybe we missed not getting CeeDee Lamb. Maybe all those things. And you might be right. They might be right. But I think that, what offsets that is finding Travis Fulgham. Finding Travis Fulgham is a huge find for us because, to me, the kid is an absolute steal. And with him, and then you have Jalen Reagor, who I see eventually filling in that Deshaun Jackson role. I think he's still got a lot of upside too. I haven't been this excited about the Eagles wide receiving corps since Terrell Owens in 2004. I mean, even more so than I was in 2017. Because in 2017, if you go back and you watch my videos on it, I was a little suspect about us going out and signing Alshon Jeffrey, which, I took a lot of heat for, but to me it was just a matter of, hey, you have this young quarterback going into his second year, you're going to pay Alshon, who's a little bit older, and he may be good for a couple years, but then where are you going to be with him? And that's kind of what happened. But now you have a young core of wide receivers around Carson, who's 27, he'll be 28 going into next season. Now you have Fulgham, you have Reagor, and I think John Hightower has flashed some ability. Now, he's had some drops, made some mistakes, but he showed that he's got some talent. He has the ability to get deep. I mean, he's the only guy the Eagles throw deep to, really. So, I got to tell you, John Hightower is another guy I really like. And then we got to talk about Greg Ward for a second. Greg Ward Jr. is having a very underrated year. I think people have kind of forgotten about him with all the hoopla of Fulgham and then having Reagor as a rookie. But Greg Ward Jr., he has been a consistent player for us, and I really, really like him. So you got four guys I really like. And then you get Quez Watkins. I'm waiting to see Quez Watkins. I mean, everything I hear about Quez Watkins, he's going to be another good player for the Eagles, and he's got some speed as well. I would like to see the Eagles put him in, like get him in the game, let him run a deep route, let him do something, maybe take a kickoff return, something like that. It would be nice. I would like to see Killins at punt return too, because I really don't like Greg Ward back there. I just don't think that's really what he's good at. But he's a good slot receiver. So when you look at these receivers, we got Fulgham, Reagor, Greg Ward Jr., Hightower, Quez Watkins, and then I had this flash. In my head, and it was the number 19, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I got hope. I have very little hope for him. Matter of fact, every time I think of Arcega-Whiteside, I think DK Metcalf. So I don't know what Arcega-Whiteside is. I don't even think the Eagles like using him. They barely use him at all. However, missing out on DK Metcalf, yeah, it sucks. It was bad and everything like that. But I'm telling you, the find of Travis Fulgham is going to mask and hide a lot of those mistakes because he is such a gem and such a steal. I think this kid has all-world potential. He just has to play and become consistent. That's what we need for him to prove that he can do this more than 1 year. But I really, really like this kid. And I really like this wide receiving core in general. I think they're young. I think you let them play. You get rid of Deshaun next year. You get rid of Alshon. And you give it to these young guys. And if they develop like I think they're going to, I think the Eagles could have a very, very dynamic wide receiving group for years to come. And it's a very, very good thing. And the other thing I really like about it, okay, is that going into the draft, we don't have this huge glaring need at the wide receiver position like we've always had. We can really focus on some of the needs that we really do have. I think the biggest one is, the biggest two, we'll say, is the offensive line and linebacker. And if the Eagles can maybe address a linebacker in the first round, maybe address a offensive lineman in the first round, I would be very happy with that. But so many years in a row, we've had such a glaring need at wide receiver, and we've had so many misses that we haven't been able to focus on other positions, at least from a fan base perspective. So having these wide receivers in this group has been a positive for the Eagles this year. I definitely think so. And I expect as the season goes on, as these guys play more like Hightower and Reagor, I think they're going to get only better, especially Fulgham. Fulgham is already there. He's already there. Okay, this kid is a stud. Stud. I love this kid. I'm all about him. Making 13 great again. Beautiful thing. And hopefully, like I said, it can allow us to focus in the draft on some other key positions that maybe we have missed going early on. And when I say that, you think about Ortega-Whiteside, right? Last year, you take him with your second pick. If you're not going to take DK Metcalf, maybe you could have took an offensive lineman. Maybe you could have took a linebacker right there, but they didn't. And then in the first round, you take Reagor. You could have took a linebacker if you would have gotten it right the year before. So this year, with these receivers, I think, being set, you can focus on that offensive lineman, that linebacker, wherever you, maybe even a pass rusher, because I don't know what's going to happen with Derek Barnett. And I do like Josh Sweat too. I think he's had a pretty decent year. I actually like Josh Sweat better than I like Derek Barnett at this point. But the receiving core in that group, I'm very excited about. They just got to play with Carson, and they got to get experience, and they're going to be fine. That offensive line needs help, though. It needs to get younger. It needs some depth. I think especially, I'm not a big Sayamalu guy, but the left guard position, I think you could definitely upgrade. No question about it. I think Jordan Mailata deserves to be at left tackle. So it's going to be interesting, but I really think that this Travis Fulgham, this find for the Eagles is definitely making up for not taking DK Metcalf, making up for some of the mistakes in the past, and it allows us to concentrate and spend money in other places instead of trying to always fix this wide receiver problem that has been going on for years. Now, me saying this about how I like the wide receivers, that doesn't mean if you have a position where you're in the second round and the best player available is this wide receiver, or in the first round and the best player, and it's obvious the best player on the board is a wide receiver, then you do it. Then you take them, because you don't let talent walk away, especially in the first round. However, I like where the Eagles are from the wide receiver perspective, especially going forward. I think we need some depth at the running back position. I love Miles Sanders. And look, as bad as things have been now, there's a lot of learning going on from these young guys. And I think the future is bright in the Eagles passing game, especially, and maybe really especially, if we get an offensive coordinator and a new quarterback coach that could set us on the right path. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.